Hi, this is Grandma Laurie. Today's story is a continuation of the Penpals. Today we have Lena's story. Previously, Ruby, who lived in Australia, received a letter from Germany written by Lena, who lived in Germany. Lena came home from school to find a letter with a return address from Sydney, Australia. Ruby had replied to her letter. Lena had been anxious because she hadn't gotten anything from Ruby, her new pen pal. She worried her letter hadn't gotten there. What would she tell her teacher? Lena's teacher had given her an assignment. Write a letter to someone a world away to learn about other places and how others lived. It had to be handwritten. She couldn't type it on her computer and print it out. Lena chose a girl in Australia. That definitely was a world away. Lena pulled off her coat, picked up the letter, and ran to her room. Because the days were getting shorter in the German autumn, it was getting darker earlier. She had to turn on her lamp. The envelope was thicker than the one she sent Ruby. Lena wondered what Ruby said. The envelope was covered with interesting stamps that said Australia. It definitely was from Ruby. Lena could tell Ruby wasn't used to writing by hand. The handwriting was a bit wobbly. Lena carefully opened the letter to find a feather. What bird was this from? Lena didn't even stop to get a snack. She was anxious to read the letter. She sat on her bed and read. Dear Lena, thank you for writing. I was surprised to get a letter from Germany. Usually our mail only has stuff from my parents. Sorry for my handwriting. I'm not used to writing on paper. Lena was excited. Ruby seemed very friendly. The letter continued. Germany sounds amazing, but it's hard for me to imagine all the colors you talked about. Here in Sydney, it's spring. The days are getting longer and warmer, and our national trees, called golden wattle, are starting to bloom. Lena didn't have to imagine what that looked like. Ruby included a photo of the Sydney Opera House, a famous building, in the harbor with the yellow trees. Lena's mom came to her door and said, Sweetie, I'm running to the store, but I brought you some warm cookies and hot chocolate. Thanks, Mom, Lena said absently. She didn't even look up. She was too interested in Ruby's letter. Lena continued to read, sipping on her hot chocolate. Ruby's words transported her to Australia. She wrote, The spring sun is very warm here, so we're wearing short sleeves and lots of sunscreen. Lena pulled her warm sweater closer. There was a chill in the air, even with the heater on. She wished she were at the beach with Ruby. Of course, even in the summer, the sun was never that strong in Germany. Lena laughed at Ruby's next words. My dad is ready to cook outside. He's already cleaned off the Barbie. Barbie, thought Lena. Do they use dolls to cook? Ruby then explained. Barbie is what you call the barbecue. Lena laughed. Phew, that makes you feel better. She smiled as she looked over at her doll collection. Lena continued reading. Ruby described the spring weather in Australia, the feel of the sand on her feet, and the birds. The feather is from a magpie, one of our birds. They're singing loudly now that the weather is getting warmer. Do you really make things with chestnuts you collect? I'd love to know more about how you do that. I just draw pictures of animals. I'm not very good, but I'm getting better. I'm including a picture I drew of a koala. I've been looking stuff up about Munich. It looks so different from Sydney. Write me back and tell me more. Your friend, Ruby. Lena tried to imagine the warmth of the sun on the beach, her feet squishing in the sand. By the time Mom returned from the store, Lena was asleep on the floor holding Ruby's drawing. Mom just covered Lena with a warm blanket, turned off the light, and closed the door. She would hear more about Ruby's letter in the morning. This has been Grandma Laurie. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share so I can continue bringing you great stories. Thank you.